Imagine waking up every morning to the sound of your own voice, whispering words of love, encouragement, and power into your soul. Imagine looking into the mirror and seeing not just a reflection, but a person worthy of kindness, grace, and endless possibilities. Now, ask yourself, how often do you actually speak to yourself with love? For too many of us, the first thoughts in the morning are filled with doubt, self-criticism, or worry. We replay past mistakes, focus on our flaws, and tell ourselves stories that limit our greatness. But what if I told you that the way you speak to yourself is shaping your entire reality? What if I told you that every word you say, every thought you think, is either lifting you higher or pulling you down? Speaking love to yourself isn't just a feel-good practice. It's a life-changing habit. It's a decision to rewrite the script playing in your mind, to replace self-doubt with self-belief, and to remind yourself daily that you are worthy, enough, and capable. Tonight, I want to challenge you to start a new conversation with yourself, one filled with love, power, and the belief that you deserve the best that life has to offer. The way you speak to yourself shapes your reality in ways more profound than you might realize. Every word, every thought, every sentence that runs through your mind has the power to build you up or break you down. It's not just about what you say out loud. It's about the silent dialogue that happens within you every single day. This internal conversation dictates how you see yourself, how you show up in the world, and ultimately what you believe you deserve. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. If you water it, give it sunlight, and nourish the soil, it will grow strong. But if you neglect it, speak negativity over it, or constantly uproot it in doubt, it struggles to thrive. Your mind is no different. The words you feed yourself either cultivate a garden of confidence, resilience, and self-love, or they create a wasteland of doubt and insecurity. Many of us were never taught to speak kindly to ourselves. Maybe you grew up in an environment where harsh criticism was normal, or perhaps society standards have made you feel like you're never enough. Over time, those external voices can become your internal script. Without even realizing it, you might be telling yourself, I'm not smart enough, I always mess things up, or I'll never be successful. These words are like invisible chains, holding you back from stepping into your full potential. But here's the thing, just as words can create limitations, they can also create breakthroughs. Your mind believes what you consistently tell it. If you repeatedly affirm something, whether positive or negative, your subconscious starts accepting it as truth. That's why speaking love to yourself isn't just a feel-good practice. It's a necessity for transformation. Think about someone who is learning a new skill like playing an instrument or starting a business. If they constantly tell themselves, I'm terrible at this, they reinforce that belief. They hesitate, make more mistakes, and eventually quit. But if they say, I am improving every day, they give themselves permission to grow. They start seeing challenges as opportunities instead of failures. The words they choose determine how they move forward. It works the same way with self-worth. When you wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I am enough just as I am, you carry yourself differently. When you say, I deserve happiness and success, you start making choices that align with that belief. Your posture changes, your confidence rises, and you start attracting the opportunities and relationships that reflect your self-love. This isn't about ignoring your flaws or pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing to be your own biggest advocate instead of your worst critic. It's about recognizing that you are a work in progress and still deserving of love in every stage of your journey. You don't have to wait until you reach a certain level of success, lose a certain amount of weight, or fix every flaw to speak kindly to yourself. You deserve love now. You deserve grace now. The shift begins when you become aware of your internal dialogue and make a conscious decision to rewrite the script. Every time you catch yourself saying something negative, pause and replace it with a loving, empowering statement. Over time, these words become your truth, They become the foundation upon which you build a life of confidence, joy, and self-acceptance. Loving yourself is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. Just like you nourish your body with food, your soul requires nourishment through words, actions, and thoughts that reinforce your worth. Many people wait for a perfect moment to begin practicing self-love. They believe they need to achieve a certain goal, reach a milestone, or become someone different before they can fully embrace who they are. But self-love is not something you earn. It is something you cultivate one day at a time. Think about how you care for a child or someone you deeply love. You don't wait for them to be perfect before you show them kindness and encouragement. You support them, uplift them, and remind them of their value, even when they struggle. Yet when it comes to ourselves, we often withhold that same love. We become our own harshest critics, constantly measuring ourselves against impossible standards. This is why speaking love to yourself every single day is essential. It reprograms your mind to recognize that you are worthy right now, exactly as you are. Your daily routine should include intentional moments of self-love. It can be as simple as starting your morning with affirmations, reminding yourself that you are enough, strong, and capable. The words you say to yourself in the morning set the tone for the rest of the day. If you wake up criticizing yourself, doubting your abilities, or replaying past mistakes, you carry that energy into everything you do. But if you wake up and say, I am worthy of good things, I am proud of who I am becoming, you step into your day with confidence and purpose. Another way to practice self-love daily is by being mindful of your thoughts. Throughout the day, negative thoughts can creep in without you even realizing it. You might compare yourself to someone else, dwell on something you said or did, or question whether you are good enough. The key is to catch these moments and redirect them. Instead of letting self-doubt take over, pause and choose a different thought. Instead of saying, I always mess up, remind yourself, I am learning and growing. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, affirm, I am constantly evolving into the best version of myself. These small shifts make a powerful difference over time. Beyond words, self-love is also about how you treat yourself. It's about setting boundaries, allowing yourself to rest, and engaging in activities that bring you joy. Too often, people prioritize everyone else's needs while neglecting their own, believing that self-care is a luxury instead of a necessity. But just as a plant needs water and sunlight every day, you need kindness, patience, and love from yourself. This means listening to your needs, allowing yourself to feel your emotions without judgment, and giving yourself permission to be human. The more consistently you practice self-love, the more natural it becomes. At first, it may feel uncomfortable or even forced, but just like any habit, repetition creates transformation. With time, speaking love to yourself daily shifts your mindset, strengthens your confidence, and helps you navigate life with grace. Instead of waiting for an outside source to validate you, you become your own source of love and encouragement. Every single day is an opportunity to remind yourself that you are deserving of love, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. We all have an inner voice that speaks to us throughout the day, shaping our emotions, decisions, and self-perception. For many, this voice is often filled with doubt, criticism, and fear. It tells us that we are not good enough, that we are not smart enough, that we will never achieve what we desire. This voice is known as the inner critic, and it is one of the most powerful influences on our lives. However, what many people don't realize is that they have the power to change that voice, to rewrite the script that plays in their mind, and to transform the way they speak to themselves. The inner critic is not something we are born with. It is developed over time through experiences, conditioning, and past traumas. If you grew up in an environment where mistakes were not tolerated, where love felt conditional, or where you were constantly compared to others, your inner voice likely absorbed those messages. It learned to keep you in check by pointing out your flaws, questioning your abilities, and reminding you of every mistake you've ever made. This voice might have been created as a way to protect you, to prevent you from failure or rejection. But instead, it has become a source of limitation, keeping you stuck in self-doubt and fear. Rewriting the script of your inner critic starts with awareness. You must begin to notice when that negative voice speaks up. Pay attention to the moments when you criticize yourself, when you call yourself names, or when you assume the worst about yourself. Once you recognize these patterns, you can begin to challenge them. Ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then why are you saying it to yourself? Your words matter, and the way you speak to yourself shapes your self-esteem, confidence, and overall happiness. Replacing negative self-talk with loving, empowering words is not about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing a perspective that serves you rather than harms you. Instead of saying, I always fail, reframe it to, I am learning and improving with every experience. Instead of thinking, I am not good enough, remind yourself, I am worthy just as I am. These small changes in language may seem insignificant, but over time, they create a new narrative, one rooted in self-compassion and confidence. Another powerful way to rewrite the script is by speaking affirmations to yourself daily. Words have energy, and when you repeatedly tell yourself something positive, your mind begins to accept it as truth. Even if you don't fully believe it at first, keep saying it. Stand in front of a mirror and say, I love and accept myself. Tell yourself, I am capable, strong, and worthy. The more you practice, the more your inner voice begins to shift. Your inner critic does not have to be your enemy. With conscious effort, you can turn it into a supportive, encouraging voice that uplifts rather than tears down. The same energy you once used to doubt yourself can be redirected to empower yourself. You have the power to rewrite the script, to choose words that build you up, and to create a mindset that reflects the love and respect you deserve. Speaking affirmations to yourself in the mirror is a game changer. It is one of the most powerful ways to rewire your mindset, build confidence, and cultivate self-love. The mirror reflects more than just your physical appearance. It reveals your emotions, your beliefs, and the way you truly see yourself. Looking into your own eyes while speaking words of love and affirmation creates a deep emotional connection that no other practice can replicate. It forces you to confront yourself in a way that is both uncomfortable and transformative. Many people struggle with mirror work at first. The moment they stand in front of their reflection and try to say, I love you, they feel resistance. Their mind begins to argue, bringing up every reason why they don't deserve that love. They remember past mistakes, insecurities, and criticisms they have absorbed over the years. This discomfort is proof of how deeply ingrained self-doubt has become. But that is exactly why mirror affirmations are so important, because they challenge the negative beliefs that have been shaping your reality for too long. When you speak to yourself in the mirror, you are not just saying words, you are giving yourself permission to believe in your worth. The eyes are the gateway to the soul, and when you look directly into them, your words penetrate deeper. It is different from simply thinking positive thoughts or repeating affirmations in your mind. Saying them out loud while making eye contact with yourself creates an emotional shift. It is a conversation with your deepest self, a moment of truth where you declare, I am enough. For mirror affirmations to be effective, consistency is key. The first few times may feel awkward, but repetition rewires the brain. Just like a song you hear repeatedly becomes familiar, the words you say to yourself daily start to feel real. Your subconscious mind begins to accept these affirmations as truth, and over time, they replace the negative self-talk that has been running on autopilot. It is important to be intentional with the words you choose. Affirmations should be powerful, present, and personal. Instead of saying, I will be confident someday, say, I am confident now. Instead of saying, I want to be loved, say, I am worthy of love. These statements affirm that you already embody the qualities you seek. The more you declare them, the more they become a part of you. Mirror work also builds resilience. Life will always present challenges, and there will be days when self-doubt creeps in. But if you have built a habit of speaking love to yourself, those words become your foundation. When fear arises, you will hear, I am strong enough to overcome this. When you feel unworthy, you will remember, I am deserving of good things. These affirmations act as a shield, protecting you from the negativity that once controlled your thoughts. The way you speak to yourself in the mirror is a direct reflection of your relationship with yourself. The more love you give, the more love you feel. The more kindness you show, the more kindness you believe you deserve. Mirror affirmations are not just words. They are an act of self-acceptance, a daily practice of looking yourself in the eyes and saying, I am enough exactly as I am. Self-love is often misunderstood. Many people believe that prioritizing themselves is selfish or that loving themselves means ignoring their flaws. But in reality, self-love is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the foundation upon which everything else in life is built. When you truly love and value yourself, you become a better partner, parent, friend, and leader. You give more freely, love more deeply, and show up for others in a way that is authentic and fulfilling. But when you neglect yourself, when you constantly put others first while ignoring your own needs, you eventually run empty. Imagine yourself as a cup filled with water. Every time you give to others your time, energy, love, and attention, you pour from that cup. If you never take the time to refill it, eventually there will be nothing left to give. Many people operate from a place of exhaustion, feeling drained, resentful, or unappreciated because they have given so much without replenishing themselves. But self-love is the act of refilling that cup. It is making sure that you are nourished, supported, and cared for so that you can give from a place of wholeness rather than depletion. One of the biggest obstacles to self-love is guilt. Society often glorifies self-sacrifice, making people feel like they must always put others before themselves. But the truth is, when you take care of yourself first, you become more present and available for others. Think about the instructions given on an airplane. Secure your own oxygen mask before assisting others. This is not selfish, it is practical. You cannot help someone else if you are struggling to breathe. The same principle applies to life. You must take care of yourself first so that you have the energy, patience, and strength to care for others. Self-love is not just about indulgence or treating yourself to occasional luxuries. It is about recognizing your worth and honoring it in your daily life. It is about setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and refusing to accept less than you deserve. Many people struggle with this because they fear disappointing others. But every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to yourself. Every time you tolerate disrespect or neglect your own needs, you reinforce the belief that you are not as important as those around you. But you are. Your needs, your well-being, and your happiness matter just as much as anyone else's. Speaking love to yourself daily is a crucial part of self-love. Your words shape your reality, and the way you talk to yourself influences how you feel and what you believe. If you constantly criticize yourself, doubt your abilities, or focus on your flaws, you create a mindset of self-rejection. But when you speak love to yourself, when you affirm your worth, acknowledge your strengths, and show yourself kindness, you build a foundation of self-respect and confidence. Self-love does not mean ignoring your areas of growth. It means accepting yourself fully, flaws and all, while still striving to improve. It means giving yourself the same grace and compassion that you would give a loved one. It means recognizing that you are enough, not because of what you achieve or how others see you, but simply because you exist. When you love yourself, you set the standard for how others should treat you. You teach the world how to value you by the way you value yourself. Healing starts with the way you speak to yourself. Every wound, whether from childhood, relationships, failures, or disappointments, leaves an imprint on your heart. Some wounds are visible, but the deepest ones are often hidden, buried under years of self-doubt, fear, and pain. Many people carry these wounds without realizing that their own words are either keeping them open or helping them heal. The way you speak to yourself becomes the medicine or the poison that determines whether you move forward or stay stuck in the past. When something painful happens, it's natural to internalize it. A heartbreak might lead you to believe that you are unlovable. A failure might convince you that you are incapable. A negative comment from someone in your past might still echo in your mind, making you feel like you are never enough. Over time, these external experiences become internal truths. But they are not truths at all. They are simply stories that have been repeated so often that they feel real. And the only way to rewrite these stories is through conscious, intentional self-talk. Healing does not happen overnight. And it does not happen by pretending that pain does not exist. It happens when you acknowledge your wounds, but refuse to let them define you. Instead of saying, I am broken, say, I am healing. Instead of believing, I will never get past this, affirm, every day, I am becoming stronger. These words shift your mindset from being a victim of your past to being the author of your future. They give you power over your pain rather than allowing your pain to have power over you. Your inner dialogue is especially important in moments of struggle. When you feel discouraged, when you make mistakes, or when life does not go as planned, what do you say to yourself? Many people are kind to others, but cruel to themselves. They offer support and encouragement to friends, yet speak to themselves with harshness and criticism. But healing requires that you become your own source of comfort. It means speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love, with patience, gentleness, and understanding. One of the most powerful ways to heal through words is through self-forgiveness. Holding on to guilt, shame, or regret only deepens the wounds. Everyone makes mistakes, but punishing yourself for the past will not change it. Instead of saying, I should have done better, try saying, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. Instead of, I don't deserve happiness, remind yourself, I am worthy of a fresh start. Forgiving yourself is not about excusing mistakes. It is about freeing yourself from them. It is about allowing yourself to move forward without carrying the weight of past pain. Healing through words also means being mindful of the language you use daily. If you constantly say, I am always unlucky, you reinforce a mindset of hopelessness. But if you say, good things are coming my way, you begin to shift your energy toward possibility. Your words create the atmosphere in which healing happens. They either keep you bound to old wounds or open the door to new beginnings. Choosing to speak love to yourself every day is choosing to heal, to rise, and to step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Every word you speak to yourself carries weight. Every affirmation, every moment of self-encouragement, and every loving thought plants a seed in your mind. Over time, those seeds grow into confidence, strength, and self-acceptance. You don't have to wait for a special moment to start speaking love into your life. You can begin right now. You can choose in this very moment to shift your words from self-criticism to self-compassion, from doubt to belief, from fear to faith. The way you speak to yourself determines how you show up in the world. It shapes your relationships, your decisions, and your ability to overcome challenges. When you speak love to yourself daily, you create a foundation so strong that no outside opinion can shake it. You set a standard for how others should treat you. You remind yourself every single day that you are enough, not because of what you achieve, but because of who you are. So tonight, as you leave this space, I challenge you to listen to your words. Speak to yourself as you would speak to someone you deeply love. Stand in front of that mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say with conviction, I am worthy, I am loved, I am enough.